shoot or shoot. So if you want something, you send your offer. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel via Glow. If you're new here, my name is Gloria and I'm a full-time reseller on multiple different apps, and I resell clothes and shit. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a ship with me video. Today is Sunday morning and I actually want to ship out sales that I had on Friday and Saturday. This is all that sold. It's not bad, but it's not good. All right, first, so we have 10 Poshmark sales, 5 eBay sales, and then 2 measly ass Mercari sales. The first thing is this pair of Prana like trousers. These are more so like a Y2K moment. These are old. I did get them from the bins, so I did save a little bit of money. But I have been picking up Prana every time I see it at the bins, which I know I probably need to slow down on due to the fact that some pieces are not as good as the others. But it's just so hard. You already know how it is when you go to the bins. But these actually sold on Mercari, and I sent out offers because sometimes I like to send offers on Mercari when sales are just a little bit too dry over there, and I try to send a pretty steep one. So this one actually was listed at $32, and I had noticed it had got a like on it very recently, so I had already sent offers to the other watchers, and of course they didn't purchase. And that next person that came in to like it, I went on and you know, sent it out, and it was a $20 offer and they accepted it, and I paid 91 cents for them at the bins, and I made a profit of $15.87. And to be honest with y'all, I'm pretty happy with that. I enjoy finding this brand, and like I said, I have a hard time not picking it up. But since these were an older style, I think that I was shooting kind of high on that $32, but I initially priced a little bit higher on Mercari just to make up for any type of offers that I receive. All right, y'all, I forgot my damn poly mailers. I don't know why I didn't make this a little bit smaller so it can fit in here. If not, I can just put it in a different one, but yeah. Prana is just one of those brands that I just can't keep my hands off of. Let me know down below if you have a hard time not picking up Prana, because girl, it's hard. So the next one is actually Barefoot Dreams. These are a pair of joggers. I got these from the bins as well, and I initially wanted to keep these for myself, but I realized, like, girl, let's just sell them. So I decided to go ahead and list them, and they got immediate attention, which made me really happy, mainly because I feel like when it comes to Barefoot Dreams, it's just one of those brands that perform decently if you don't price it high. It has lost its value a little bit, but for the most part, I think that a lot of people still love it for the soft feel to it. So that's why I will always pick it up when I find it at the bins. Definitely not a item that I would pick up at a regular thrift store unless it's possibly new with tags in a larger size. Then I'll entertain it then, but if it is not, no thanks. So yeah, this actually sold on eBay. I do believe I sent out offers to watchers and they went on and accepted that offer. I did get a message on this from someone asking me could I do 20, and I told them no, because I also went and checked comps. So what I typically like to do when I receive a, you know, lower offer on an item that is from the bins from what I have it listed at, because on eBay I have all of my items listed pretty low, probably the lowest that I list them on any other platform, due to the fact that I have my offers turned off. But since I had them listed pretty low already on there, when they asked me for $20, I ended up telling them no, just because I'm like, that's already a pretty good deal, so why would I go any lower? So they ended up just, you know, leaving me alone, which is I'm completely okay with. I don't mind you ignoring me. It's just I don't want to sit here and go back and forth when I've already turned off my offers, because I don't want people like that sending me, you know, messages to begin with. But anyways, these sold for $26.39, and I actually got them for 23 cents at the bins, and I made a profit of $23.46. And the 23-cent bin price is because a worker actually messed up on her like editing when it comes to the pounds, so her loss, my win. All right, so the next one is actually this Patagonia fleece. I love finding these at the bins because they do so well. Like the sell-through rate is great, and it's just one of those brands that people just know to love, and it's a pretty quick seller for the most part. I guess it really depends on what you have, because you can have a piece that is not really interesting to people and they won't buy it. I personally saw this at the bins and I'm just kind of like, okay, I see that it is flawed. It did have a hole in it. It was very minor, but I still noted it because I didn't want the potential buyer to, you know, see it and then there be an issue. So I went on and let them know. So this one actually sold for $40. I had it listed at $45, and I had planned to sell it for about 30 bucks because it did have a flaw. But since they sent me an offer for $40, I quickly accepted it because I'm like, that's actually a really good deal, not only for them but more so for me, because it was picked over at a bin and I was really surprised that it actually was still there. I was really surprised that it was picked over and nobody actually got it. I'm assuming it's because of the flaw, but this is like my maybe 4th time finding Patagonia at the bins, and I pick it up every time. I of course kind of go through the motion of, is it worth picking up with the flaw? And 9 times out of 10 it is, because people still love Patagonia. I kind of wish I would have prepped a little bit more for this video, because I do not like having to like keep stopping to go and grab supplies. I thought I was ahead of the game, but I'm obviously not. Let me know if Patagonia is still going well for y'all or it slowed down. And I like to use these labels from USPS, just like some stickers that you can put on your packaging. I like to put it on the boxes so the item can make sure that it is closed all the way. But these sold for $40 and I paid $1.14 with it, and I made a profit of $30.86. If you guys are not familiar how I go about my cost of goods, I actually just like to wrap up the amount that I purchased that day with the amount that I actually, you know, paid for. So let's say I paid $50 and it's 40 items. So I'll just divide $50 by 40, and then whatever that number is, I just, you know, put it on my spreadsheet as individual, you know, lines, if that makes any sense. So like the Patagonia fleece, I would put, you know, price that I paid for it and then the date and all that fun stuff. So there's that. This one is a Gilmore Girls t-shirt. I picked this up because it was an extra large and I just thought that it looked nice. And then I did check comps and the comps were actually pretty good. Of course, you already know this is not like a high dollar item. However, it did sell within like 2 days. So I think I listed mine a little below market just because I wanted it to sell quicker, because I realized after coming home that this was sold at Target. So I didn't want to hold on to this longer than needed. So I went on and sold it for a price point that would get it out the door. So this one actually sold for $7.19, and that actually looks like an offer that I sent them. So I typically let the likes rack up on my eBay account, and then once it hit a certain number, I'll go ahead and send offers to watchers, just because I want to have people actually buy the item at the price that I have it at, because that is essentially, you know, the lowest price you probably will find. But some people don't, they wait around. So I like to wait a little bit longer and then send out offers, just to try to maximize my profit, but obviously I did not. So I paid $1.14 for these, and this actually made me a profit of $5.55. So yeah, pretty depressing, but you know, you win some, you lose some. This is what I call a filler item anyway, so it wasn't like I knew I was going in and getting 20 bucks for it. $5 profit, I'm okay with. Okay, this next one is actually from a brand called For Love of Lemons, but this is their brand called For Little Lemons, which is actually just a brand for, you know, children. These are their toddler dresses, and they retail for a decent amount for children, which I thought very strange. And I sent out 40% off offers on all of my dresses in my closet, and I made 3 sales, y'all. It was so depressing. Because I'm just like, shit, so that means if they didn't sell, it's gonna take even longer to sell, or I'll have to send an even steeper discount, and I didn't want to do that. Okay, I thought 40% was sweet enough, but obviously not. So I'm probably gonna send something a little bit more aggressive this weekend and try to do it during closet clear out, because I did just drop the price. And honestly, y'all, I absolutely hate doing that on Poshmark. It messes with the numbers and everything just is out of whack. And I really wanted to go in and relist every single thing, but I didn't want to do it individually. And Poshmark doesn't have a way that you can individually like bulk relist without it being past 60 days. So I don't know. If you guys know, let me know, because I would love to be that person where I send out an aggressive offer, nobody accepts it, so then I just relist it the next day, and that would be amazing. So this actually sold for $18. I paid $1.07 for it, so I made a profit of $13.33 off of this little kid's dress. And I don't know about y'all, but I love picking up children's clothing. All right, so these are recently hauled, but these are a pair of Bonobos pants. These are the Friday pants. This is a menswear brand, and it does pretty well. I think I have like an 80% sell-through rate with it. One particular item, I probably could have had 100% sell-through rate with it, but I was being greedy, and that is 100% my fault. So this time around, I'll make sure that I'm not greedy. But yeah, so these actually were listed at about, I want to say these were at $40, because I had planned on selling them for a smooth $30 to $35. So they sent me an offer for $30. I remember receiving a question first. So I received the question, and at the time I didn't know the answer directly, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be me having to go find the item and looking it up and all of that, but I didn't. Soon after, somebody sent me a counter offer, and I went to go verify, was it the person that asked the question or was it a new buyer? And it was actually a new buyer. And I went on and contemplated a little bit, and I waited a little bit, because I'm like, man, I would feel so bad if this other person wasn't able to buy this item because I didn't give them the answer that they wanted. All right, y'all, so these eventually sold for $30 to that second buyer and not the first one. And I actually paid $1.14 for them, and I made a profit of $22.86. And honestly, 100% would pick it up again. I think I'm gonna make sure I stick to picking up the pants that have a date on them, as well as like sweaters or coats or jackets or anything like that. Something with just a little bit more oomph to it, you know? All right, so these are a pair of Banana Republic pants. These are the Ryan pant, and honestly, I feel like had I waited a little bit longer, I could have got a little bit more, just because these are actually a wool blend, and these got a bit of attention. So that's why I was just like, I probably could have gotten a little bit more, but it actually sold at my full asking price on eBay. So I know that the person knows that they got a pretty good deal. That's why they paid that full asking price, or they didn't want anybody else to get it. Who knows? But yeah, so these were a pretty good pickup. I know I talked about trying to, you know, slow down with picking up career wear pants, but they sell pretty well for me. I'm getting at least, at the very least, 3 to 4 sales a month with career wear pants. So I think I'll just continuously pick them up, because they're moving in and moving out, and people are gonna always be going into an office because they don't wanna make things remote. And that's okay, that's okay. So these actually sold for $14.99 on eBay, and I purchased them for 95 cents, and I made a profit of $12.40 after fees and cost of goods. All right, so these are a pair of Can pants. I was kind of sad when these didn't do as well as I thought they were gonna do. This is just one of those brands kind of similar to Judy Blue, where they have an extreme amount of stretch and they kind of make you look really nice. But I ended up picking these up at the bins, and I didn't know that I picked them up at the bins. So when I saw that they sold for the price point that they sold for, I was a little sad, because I'm like, oh, you know, I'm sure I didn't make much of a profit. However, after looking at my spreadsheet, I noticed that these were a bins pickup, so I was really happy about that. These were initially listed at like $30, y'all, and then I started to notice that they have been sitting and sitting and sitting. These were actually picked up, I want to say in December. This has been a while. So I kept dropping the price, kept relisting, kept dropping the price. So it did eventually sell for $13. Poshmark actually sent them an offer, and I paid $1.52 for it. So I actually only made a profit of $6.51. after fees and cost of goods. I recently found like 3 pairs of 𝕿𝕿 jeans, and I only picked up 2 because they did have a little bit more like pizzazz to them than these ones. So I don't really like to pick up just like the plain skinny. They have to have either button front, flare, high rise, something going for it, just not, you know, a pair of plain ones. All right, so this is actually a 𝕬𝕝 blouse. It is a size 14-16, so I kind of messed up with that because it is kind of small, but it did sell, so I was really happy about that. It sold for the price point that I would assume it would have sold at, which was that $15 to $20, giving the size. I've been picking this brand up, experimenting with it a lot, just to try to see, like, you know, what sells best, what sells quickly, and what has just a pretty good sell-through rate on it. And I'm still doing my experimenting, because this one, I think I have this one listed for under a month, I want to say, but I'm trying to stick to larger sizes. This was a offers to watchers from Poshmark yet again, and this one sold for $15, and I purchased it at $1.09, and I made a profit of $8.89 on it. All right, so this is an American Eagle linen dress. I feel like I recently hauled this one, and I only picked this one up because it was a size large. I know for a fact that American Eagle clothing just doesn't do that well, but it does have a following and it does sell. So I wanted to pick this up just off of the fact that it was large, it was linen, and you know, it had pockets too. I love pockets. So I went on and grabbed it, and this one sold fairly quickly. It did get a lot of attention. So like, I feel like if you are able to pick your items up at the bins like me, you can very much so get away with selling them. This one actually came through an offer. I think I had it listed at $28 because I was trying to get about $20 for it. But I feel like as time has moved on, y'all, I have recognized the fact that shipping and handling and all of that on the back end for buyers is like a good $10 to $12 on top of whatever your item is priced at. So I accepted their $10 offer because, you know, we're moving out of dress season and I didn't want this to sit for another summer. And I try to think that through when it comes to selling items at a price point that doesn't make me that happy. Is that, you know, I'm moving it, you know, the season is about to be ending, so let's not hold too much weight on it. And I could have, mainly because it had quite a few watchers on it, but it's just not worth it anymore to hold out for an extra $5. So this one actually sold for $10, and I only paid 23 cents, which we love to see, and I made a profit of $6.82. All right, this one is a Adriana Papel dress. I was listening to some YouTubers. I want to say it happened in last summer because that's how long this has been sitting. But I was listening to a few resellers last summer, and they talked about how, you know, this is a great brand. I believe it's specific to like formal gowns more so than anything. And I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and test it out. And I picked this one up in hopes to actually, you know, get at least about $40 for it. Absolutely not. So this was a really bad buy. And I thought that I picked this up at the bins. Come to find out, I didn't. I picked this up at a regular thrift store last summer, which was a big mistake because the price point is just uber depressing. But this particular buyer, they sent me messages in the comments pretty much asking about the flaws that I noted. One was like the hem, something on the side of it, and then there was another spot on it. Come to find out, that spot was actually just my ring light, kind of like a glare on it. So I let them know like, hey, that's actually not a flaw. But as far as the other one, you can just kind of clip that. I don't know why I didn't cut it myself. Like, what was I thinking? So anyways, I had sent out those 40% off offers, and she ended up asking me those questions, I guess, right before it was about to expire. And she ended up accepting the offer, which I was a little, just a little annoyed about, only because I thought that she was asking those questions because she was about to buy it at that full asking price. I didn't know that it was still an offer, an active offer on it. So that ended up happening. So I paid $7.35 for it at a regular thrift store. So I only made a profit of $6.82. And this is one of the reasons why I only shop at the bins. And honestly, I'm not trying to sound like I'm a hater toward a regular thrift store. I have to understand the fact that I do not find these amazing bolo brands at regular thrift stores. I don't live in an area where they sell those particular ones all the time. Otherwise, yes, I would 100% shop at the regular thrift store. If I picked up Mother all the time, if I picked up a Goldie, For Love of Lemons, 𝕬𝕗𝒄𝒣, like all of those brands, like if I picked up those type of brands at my regular thrift store, I would pay $7 to $10 for them, no problem. Anyways, this is an Eileen Fisher linen, excuse me, this is a hemp dress. It is a size extra large, and I was so ecstatic when I found it because of course I found it at the bins, and it had no flaws to it, and it was extra large. So that was the main reason why I was so juiced about it, because it's like, you cannot beat this. And I've been noticing as of late, I've been having so much luck with Eileen Fisher. I don't know what it is. I do have like 2 items that just won't sell, but the ones that I've been picking up from the bins lately, they've been hits, all of them. But I knew this one was gonna do well, so I did list it kind of high. I think I initially listed it like 55, I want to say, and then of course I priced it a little bit lower on my eBay store. This one actually sold for full asking price on my eBay store, which I absolutely adore, because those type of, you know, sales are far in between. So anytime I can get a full asking price sale, I'm always happy about it. But this one sold for $39.99, and I purchased it for 89 cents, and I made a profit of $33.25 off this item. All right, this is a Free People top. It's like a rib thermal top. I don't know, I really need to just stop picking these up, but they're like really good fillers, and honestly they all sell between 10 to 20 bucks. So it's kind of like, why would I stop if I keep finding them? Just keep selling them, you know? Everything is not going to be a winner. So I went on and picked this one up. I just have a lot of them. I think I have like maybe 3 to 5 like of these type of thermal rib tops, and they do sell. Don't get me wrong, they do sell. I did have one sit for almost a year. But it was my fault for the time that I listed it, I guess. But anywho, this one sold on eBay, and this one sold for $11.98 for my full asking price. It looked like it had just been relisted. So typically when the number ends in like 98 or 97, anything under 99, that item has been relisted. So this was relisted, and they went on and purchased it. And you love that. I only paid 76 cents for it at the bins, and I made a profit of $9.99. Right before it was time for me to kind of switch over to being a value seller, someone mentioned to sell lower tier items, and at the time I'm like, why would I do that? Because if I sold lower tier items, that means that my profit margins would be terrible. But I did incorporate the bins back then, so it did take me a little bit of time. So if you are still here, I finally listened, and I started picking up lower tier items. All right, so this is actually a Lululemon sports bra. Got this one at the bins. We love to see it. And it's just this black sports bra. When I first found it, it had a lot of deodorant marks, so I just washed it. I'm assuming that's why people left it behind, but it's just this really cute little bra. I essentially pick up all of Lululemon when I find it at the bins. Of course, if it isn't flawed, I'm not picking up no flawed Lululemon item just because it just wouldn't work. And it's not necessary, and I'm just not at that place now where I need to pick up damaged items, because they sit and they sit and they sit, and then I eventually either have to steeply discount them to what is already lower than what I initially listed them at, or trash them or donate them. So yeah, this actually sold for $27. They actually sent me an offer. I think I had it listed at $32. They sent me an offer for $27. I accepted it. I paid $1.06 for it, so I made a profit of $21.81 after fees and cost of goods. Okay, I had to get some more paper. But anyways, this one is a new to me brand. I don't think that this brand as anything, because I really couldn't find any comps on it. So the brand is called 𝕂𝕂. It is just this really pretty cottage core dress. I actually found this at a regular thrift store. I went to go get my nails done, and I saw a thrift store that looked like it had just been built, and I wanted to stop in. The prices weren't that great. Of course, it's typical, you know, thrift store prices, but I just wasn't willing to pay that price point for the most part. I went in there and I was with my sister, so I knew she didn't want to stay long. So I think I just was like, let me look at the dresses, and I saw this one and I was like, this is just too nice. I had just sold 2 cottage core dresses that look similar to this one that were kind of, you know, older. So I was just kind of like, let me go ahead and get this one because white dresses are really selling, and this was too pretty to pass up. So I ended up taking it, and I paid $6 for it. So this one actually sold for $22. I paid $6.50 for it after taxes, so I made a profit of $11.10. I love these boxes so much. I know as soon as winter time, fall time rolls around and people are buying a whole bunch of sweaters, this is going to be my favorite box. So I'll probably need to go ahead and get on USPS and order some more. All right, so these are some ℎ𝕗𝑘𝑎s. If you guys watch my vlogs, if you are not new here, y'all actually saw these in a video where I went and purchased ℎ𝕗𝑘𝑎s as well as on clouds to walk in because I was trying to do my hot mama walks with my son, and I took these out. Boy, they were hurting the hell out of my feet. And at first I'm like, okay, maybe it's just because I'm fat. But y'all, I had already been walking like the week prior, the day prior, and I was excited to wear these. The worst decision ever. I literally had to stop walking like, I want to say like 5 times because my calves, which I think that was because I'm fat, but my calves not only was hurting, but my bottom of my foot was hurting so bad. Like I was at a point where I was like, I'm just gonna take these off because I just cannot deal with this. So yeah, I personally am not a fan of ℎ𝕗𝑘𝑎s. I remember the poll that I did on my Instagram where I did ask like, which one is better? And ℎ𝕗𝑘𝑎s actually won, but nobody said that if you have high arches, they're not for you. And I have high arches on my feet, so I think if you are flat-footed, maybe they are the best. But girl, it was the worst experience ever. Like, I didn't even get to finish my walk. I didn't even get to finish going like, you know, an extra mile. I immediately, once I made it to that 5th time I stopped, I said, this isn't gonna work for me. Let me just go home. And I did. So since these were actually for me, I didn't have a cost of good, but they sold for $25. I had them listed at $50. Now I was trying to get at least about $35 for them. However, these were getting so many likes on all platforms, and I don't know about y'all, but shoot or shoot. So if you want something, you send your offer. Yes, it could be a low ball. Theirs was definitely a low ball because it was 50% off, but since it was like for me and I just wanted to get rid of them, here you go. I probably could have just waited maybe another 2 months or 1 month, whoever really knows, to get an extra $10, but why bother? All right, y'all, so the last one is actually a bundle. I'm actually gonna have to package these off camera, but I'll show you guys what sold. And this is a pair of 7 for All Mankind pleated pants, and yeah, just a nice pair of pants. I have these for a very long time. I think I started to pick up 7 for All Mankind at the bins, and I noticed that it kept selling and selling and selling, so I was just kind of like, let me keep picking it up. And after a while it just slowed down, and this was one of the items that I've had for a pretty long time. So I had them priced at $129, the whole bundle, each item. And my store actually does like a 25% off, which I immediately just took off. And they sent me an $82 offer. Now, in the grand scheme of things, $82 for 3 bin pickups and 1 thrift store pickup, it's not that bad. But if it was initially at $125 and then I already gave you a 25% off, and then you get like additional 15 to 10%, it's just like, girl. But I was like, you know what, let's just move these items, get them out the door. And I feel like I could have got more for this because broken down, these actually sold for like $20 a piece roughly. But this is just a Christmas sweater, so pretty. And this is vintage as well, so they got a pretty good deal on this one. But I'm gonna actually end up putting these all in a box. That's why I want to fold them off camera. This is a Spanx jacket. This is the one that I actually got from a regular thrift store. I don't even know why I picked this up. I truly think it could have been because I never found anything other than Spanx leggings or their pants. So when I saw a jacket, I was like, oh shit, let me test it out. And I know now that I would never pick it up again unless it's at the bins, because if it's at the bins, then that means that I can sell it for $20. I really wanted at least about $30 for that, but clearly not. And then the last thing from this bundle is this Nike Pro combat shirt. I actually just hauled this, so it was nice to get it out the door. I really don't know what this could have potentially sold for on its own, so that's why I really didn't mind you know, this bundle. It's a very strange bundle, but it's a good bundle nonetheless. So that is that. I'm actually gonna open a box, put the paper in, sit this in, put another paper, write thank you, and then call it a day. But yeah, oh, I didn't even finish. So this sold for $82. I paid $12.34. So I made a profit of $53.26 after fees and cost of goods, which is not that bad. It ain't that bad. But thank y'all so much for tuning in and watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.